I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, people? I feel all plaid today. These are my favorite shirts, and I've always wanted to wear it. I figured, no, I couldn't wear it because, TV. I was like, wait a minute, this is my show. We'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere. Welcome back to the show. So you can get us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Deezer, Vimeo, Roku, and Amazon Fire at Yaya Diamond TV. Also, Yaya Diamond's Women's Talk and Yaya Diamond's Music TV is coming back. That's right. I love the music video TV, and I'm going to bring it back because this is my show and I can do that. So we'll be doing that really, really soon, as well as documentaries and all different kind of things. But the biggest thing that we're going to continue to do is inspire me. I'm just kidding, you. Inspire you to go after your dreams and your hopes. And in turn, I get inspired too. It's kind of like a byproduct of it all. And I know my next guest knows all about that. And I want to welcome him to the show. And you know what? I'm gonna try OC, right? Or OC.
Yeah, OC. That's right.
OC. See, let me tell you something. I could torture a name. All right, we all know that. So
it's all good. It's all good. No problem.
Oh, see, yeah. I did it. I told you I could torture your name. Didn't I tell you I could do that? Well, we're just going to get past that. We're going to get past that. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. So tell me about yourself. I know you have a podcast, and I was, taking some time to listen to it, and I liked it. It was even a part where the guy was like, we're not live, are we? It's like, that was funny. I have to admit. So tell me about yourself.
Yeah. So again, my name's OC. I'm a musician, first and foremost. And so I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm a first generation Nigerian American. So my parents came here in the 80s. Mm-hmm. Since day one as a kid, it was just like always about music for me. I wasn't a great student or anything, so but music class was the one I always did well in. So I just stuck with that, and somewhere down the line, I went to Peabody Institute Music College in Baltimore. So the past 2 years, or actually just became a full year a couple months ago that I've been in LA now. So I'm doing music out here, and
okay, great. Yeah. So I've been out here in LA for a little over a year, and just recently started the podcasting in March, because it just kind of hit me. I was like, man, I love talking to people, but I like talking to people from all kinds of backgrounds. So I felt like starting a podcast was the best excuse to be able to hit up someone who's an expert in any field and just be like, hey, let me pick your brain. And then hopefully it's exciting for other people to listen and also learn. So that's the bulk of my story, I guess.
That's kind of cool, man. So, okay. So, podcasting is great. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to music, because you're a musician first and foremost. What do you sing? You play an instrument?
Yeah. So I play an instrument. I'm a professional tuba player, full-time tuba player.
What?
Yeah.
I haven't seen a tuba in so long. Oh my God.
Nah, everybody says that. It's just off of that, you can kind of, tell there's definitely some screws that you just kind of got to be a little bit crazy to just somehow go down that road and say I'm a professional tuba player. But I love it. I love playing the instrument. I love making music, and so I started off on the trombone as a kid, and the band that I was in needed a tuba player, so I just thought I would switch, and then I never knew I was gonna make a life out of that. I always knew it was music from the jump. I listened to rap a lot as a kid and did a lot of stuff. I sang and stuff, so I always knew it was going to be music. But then something about the tuba, I was just yo, I think I could really do this, and here we are. So
wow.
Yeah.
A professional tuba player. Okay, wait. Okay. So you got the sax, you got the trumpet, you got the trombone. You even have other wind instruments, but I haven't seen a tuba in so long, literally since high school marching band. So you said that you switched over and
Mhm.
you just never knew that this was going to be, I mean, how evident for you right now, being in California, being a professional tuba player, is it for you that this is really the career and the path for you? Are there like big time requests for tuba players?
So it's definitely a unique field. Like I played with orchestras, mainly, and like done studio work, things like that. Tuba, plays on a lot of like movie soundtracks, TV
Mhm.
commercials. But I also had my first ever like rap gig on tuba was with Kanye West in New York.
What?
And yeah, which is crazy because like to my right, like this is just like a flashback, like in a rehearsal, he's to my right and I'm playing, cause it's a medley of his songs. So, Jesus Walks, Can't Tell Me Nothing, just all these songs. And to my right, he's just like kind of like above my horn, cause it's like pointed up and he's right next to me. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, man, I'm playing Kanye's bass lines next to Kanye. It was like nerve wracking, but it was also just a ton of fun because it's like, man, like, because for an artist, especially a rapper, to I guess say like, okay, I'm going to put together a band and want people to hear my music in like this different way. Obviously, not a lot of people have probably ever seen a tuba on stage at a rap concert, so that was definitely one of like the highlights of yeah, that was one of the
Yeah.
highlights. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I think that a lot of people don't realize that niching yourself can be so rewarding. Just like what you just said about Kanye West asking you to be in the band next to him playing his bass lines on a tuba, not a
Yeah.
bass, but a tuba. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a little different. I can see a standing up bass, but a tuba, okay.
Yeah.
That's where you can say, hey, I'm the only one in the country that plays professionally on the tuba. I don't know anybody, to tell you the truth. I really don't. So that is amazing to me that you would be so niche that you'd be the only one. I mean, what kind of competition do you really have?
I mean, there's like I mean, it's in the hundreds for sure. I guess guys that are making money playing the tuba, but like obviously out of 350 million people, whatever, wherever we're at now in America, it's not that many when you can just say hundreds of people. But yeah, it's again like you have to be a little bit like just like off the rails to be like, yeah, I'm going to be a professional tuba player. And
Yeah.
it's great. It's my neighbors, because here in LA, like my neighbors can hear me from like a block away because it's just these low frequencies. And
Yeah.
yeah, they're like, hey man, it sounds good today. Like I'll get like texts from neighbors being like, yo, can you play this song, play this? And it's like, all right, cool. I guess I'm just like a jukebox for the next 20 minutes. That's all right. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love it though, because like that's everybody's response. They're like, man, like, what? I didn't even.
Do you have your tuba with you? Can we see your tuba? I know I'm kind of getting off the track, but we're gonna go back to your podcast because that's pretty much how you kind of figured all out about the podcast
Yeah.
and music. But can you get up and go get your tuba? Is that possible?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Give me one second.
So while he's getting up to get his tuba, we're going to see a tuba because I don't think a lot of people remember what a tuba looks like. And I think a lot of youngsters don't know what a tuba is. So this will be a great learning experience for your children to bring them in on this amazing interview right now. And we can see what a tuba really is. And also, OC can maybe play it. Maybe we can get him to play it. I mean, he played with Kanye West. Okay, Kanye West. I am so proud of him. But a tuba. Okay, guys.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Thank
man.
you.
This is amazing. Okay. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So I don't know if it'll like blow out the mic. You can tell me if I got to turn down my gain, but here's what it sounds like.
Wait. It is. Turn your gain down for a second. That thing is.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Oh yeah.
Yep. Yep. One second. You know,
And
these
it's
names
so
thing.
I haven't I just did not remember how big a tuba really truly is. I mean, you're lugging this thing around. I'm
Oh,
telling you.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you. Go
So you
ahead. Go
definitely
ahead. I think that's better. Go ahead.
okay. So is that clear?
I I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. See, I'm in a band with three horn players,
Yeah.
sax, baritone sax, and a trumpet. And I love it when they play. It's just amazing. I love when I can't play a wind instrument. Don't ask me this, but the horn player tries to get me to press the button sometimes, and I always mess up.
Oh,
And there's only three. Okay, so you can't. But definitely, wow. So the music led you to the podcast, and now the podcast is something that you do as well as music. So how do you incorporate being a musician into your podcast? And that's a beautiful tuba, by the way. Beautiful.
oh, thank you. So yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I guess for me, like a lot of like what makes a podcast so fun, a lot of those things are so similar to music in terms of its qualities, like being able to play with other people, meet other people, and make something happen with other people. You get to do that in music, and I think you get kind of that similar feeling in podcasts when you're talking to someone that you know, some of them I have met and I've known for a while. Some of them, most of them are just people I've never met before, and you know, you're finding that like synergy between you two, and you're learning about each other. And so for me, they're similar in that regard. And I think being a tuba player, you know, a lot of the times I'm supporting a group of musicians, maybe playing the bass line. And I think having this thing, really, it doesn't even matter what you do. I think having an outlet where you can just have a conversation and be yourself, like that's the style of the podcast. Like I prioritize, you know, like if I couldn't be myself 100%, I wouldn't do it at all. That was, you know, I just told myself like, yeah, this has to be me, because that's the only way it's gonna work,
Right.
you know, like it has to be you. So you know, now it's picking up listeners, and I've gotten like, you know, good feedback and all that, and starting to like do ads a little bit, and I'm just looking forward to see it grow. And but you know, for now, it's just I know like where I have to keep my head at is just, you know, just keep having great conversations with great people. And you know, I've had on a guy from UC Davis out here in California. He's an expert on water, and he's one of the people that makes sure like we don't have like poisonous toxins in our water. I've had on a couple of award-winning poets and professors at UCLA, and some musicians, rappers, athletes. So it's just all, chefs as well. It's just all kinds of people on the podcast, because you know, it just I think great people doing great things
Yeah.
is what it's about, and nothing in particular, but just like being great. And so anyway, that's a
Definitely.
long rant on the podcast, but yeah.
That is great. You know, and I agree with you. It's so cool to find new avenues, different places, and like you're amazing. Tuba, come on. Come on. I haven't had one. I've been doing this for 15 years. I haven't had one tuba player on this show. You're the first one. So it's like, it's amazing. What have you learned from your podcast that you would not probably have not have learned if you didn't have your podcast?
Um, wow. So I was actually about a month in, so sometime around April, I um so I actually like cold called a bunch of people to just like I like messaged people through LinkedIn, and called people, just like did a bunch of stuff, because I was like, you know what, like whatever, you just gotta go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, luckily, like I thought I was gonna maybe get a couple yeses, but I only got, out of calling like 20 people, I only got one no. And what I learned from that is that there was actually this one lady in particular that she was like, "Are you sure you have the right person? Like, is this like a prank or something?" And like then, once she realized I was being like for real, she thanked me, she agreed to come on. And then I realized in that moment that um people wouldn't, for some reason, some people wouldn't believe that they're special enough to share their story and to be asked to contribute to something. And it's just a great feeling, reaching out to someone and letting them know that like they do have something. Not only do they have something to offer, but like I think many people could learn from them, would enjoy their story, would enjoy what they do. So I think seeing people's surprise from being reached out to, and not, you know, I guess maybe in that moment they've realized like, man, you know what, I do know something. I do have something to share like that. So that's probably the best feeling, and that's what I've learned so far. That's really stuck with me.
Awesome. Yeah, and I concur. Finding those people that they're like, oh, my story, please, it's nothing. I just braved the wind in minus 40 degrees, and I'm like, come on, what are you talking about? It's like, but they don't think that that's a big story because so many other people did it in their day, but they don't understand. We don't have that now. These are history, these stories. Or the tuba. I mean, like the tuba playing next to Kanye West. That's gonna be like an amazing thing for you to tell everybody, and especially your kids. And hey, and your kids can brag about it. My dad played with Kanye West. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, you just don't understand the gravity of your life because you're living it. But a lot of people can be inspired by your life. And that's just the way it is. And, you just can't take yourself so nonchalantly. You have to think of it as you are a unique person with unique experiences that will inspire the world.
Yeah, I definitely agree. My last comment on that one, I think another funny thing about it is like, just we'll put ourselves like on LinkedIn and Instagram and the website and the Facebook. And it's like you put all that stuff out there for people to reach out to you, and then you're surprised when someone actually does. It would just be so funny to like, it's like, man, so why do you got like 9 different websites for people to reach out to you? You did this for a reason, and so yeah, anyway, it's just great to see people like their voices over the phone to like light up and be like, oh, yeah, sure, like I'd love to contribute. So yeah.
Definitely. Well, what is the name of your podcast?
So it's called A Song Called Life. Yeah.
And I know it's
thank you.
I know it's on Spotify, right? Because that's where
it's on
Spotify.
Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Those are the main 2 people go to, but it's probably on I know it's on 6 other ones. Yeah. But obviously, for most people, those are the 2. So yeah, Apple and Spotify.
Yeah, I know how you feel because I got like a bunch, and I mentioned just a few, and it's like, can you mention those again? I'm like, just Google it.
Yeah. So, and you know what I should say too? I'm actually adding I'm adding video to the podcast for the first time in so that should be out in the next 2 weeks. So just got to do some editing. It's just a new element for the podcast. So, but just anything to enhance the listening experience, that we'll add. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Definitely. It's going to add definitely a great, 3-dimensional listening and viewing experience because people love to see what's going on as well. And it's going to be different for you, but at the same time, it's going to be even more enjoyable, but more work.
Yeah. But that's no problem.
Right. Yeah. So, but man, thank you so much for being on the show, playing your tuba. Okay.
Oh man, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Don't you go
anywhere.
Yeah. Don't you go anywhere. So we're gonna have all of his information about his podcast. It's called, one more time, tell everybody. Us. Oh goodness, OC.
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 Yeah.
I was getting ready to say something because I have a friend that her name is pronounced the other way. So it's kind of Hard.
Oh,
OC.
got it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
go ahead, OC. Go ahead.
Oh, the name of the podcast?
Yeah, the name of the podcast. One more time. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's called A Song Called Life.
There you go. A song called Life.
Yeah.
Obviously. And we're going to have all that information in the description box so you guys can go ahead and go there. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts or either on Spotify. I'm sure it probably will be on Google Podcasts too, because I know some people listen to that as
Google,
well.
Anchor.
Yeah, Anchor and all that. Okay, great. So you can pretty much grab it anywhere. We're gonna have that information in the description box below. Thank you so much, OC, for being on the show. I appreciate it. Don't you go anywhere, because I got a suggestion for you, and you guys have to leave like now, because I have to go, because I have other people on the show, and you have to tune into the next show. So don't negate to do that. Okay, subscribe, love, comment, like, follow, do whatever you do, but make sure you do it quick, so that you can go ahead and be on our next show right here on Dream Chasers Radio. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to dare to be different. Until next time, guys. Bye.
I dare to be different. I dare to be different. I dare to be different. I dare to be different.